Greetings, everyone. Take deep breaths. Focus on yourself inside. Om Vajrabhadra Hum Pat. Om Jalarora Manaira Hum Pat. Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat. I will soon look like my favorite character of Star Wars, which is the little Ewoks. Something that someone told me I found funny this week. Good. While everyone connects, Facebook is talking to me. Okay. While everyone connects, we focus on the first two mantras. Om Vajrabhadra Hum Pat. Om Jalarora Manaira Hum Pat. And you make the mudras that you've learned. You will have noticed the mudra of the left hand holding a pearl for the first step. And then on the third step, it's holding a bowl. So you just open up a bit. Now, it's nice to have a little, it's hard to show on camera, but index, major, ring finger, and then index, the pinky out. A nice little series. Okay, so you don't necessarily hold straight, you have a little elegance. Okay, but it doesn't matter. So the first left mudra is holding a pearl. And the third mudra, the second of the left hand, is a bowl. You just open up. Okay. So palm pointing up. Let's do the first mudra of holding the pearl. And focus on your hand. The concept is, in your mind, is cutting through illusion. Don't go too concentrated on it. Just cutting through illusion and you have that focus. And now, open your hand to switch to the bowl mudra. You just open up. And you will feel that it opens a portal to the Vajra concept. Or to the concept that you're contemplating. Okay, so not all mudras are linked like that, but some of them are. And I will point it out when they are. Okay. So that was for the mudra. Okay. Holding a bowl is just a bit bigger than holding the pearl. I don't want to be precise with measurement, like in inches or centimeters, and then in inches and centimeters when you open up. Because it depends on the size of your hands. Everyone has a different hand. So like this and then like this. Whatever that means. Okay. So that will be the third mudra. There's many little things to tell before I can teach the third seal. Simply for you to make links. So, yeah, I'll start with the less obvious and I'll go towards the most obvious over time. So, when we teach a spiritual system that has a number of steps or aspects, any other correct system with the same number of steps will have correspondence. For example, the 5 elements and the 5 seeds of transmutation, or transformation, okay? Oma, Humri, Tram. They can each be associated to an element. Each of them can be associated to the 5 senses. And they each have an association to a horizontal chakra, third eye, throat, heart, plexus, and pubosacral chakra. The 42 seals of Mahakaruna, 21 on the left hand, 21 on the right hand, actually are 21 passive and 21 active. You could say some are feminine, some are masculine. But that is more or less accurate. So the 42 seals is a system of 21, okay, in duality. What do we have 21 a system? How about the 21 masks of the ego? But the mask of the ego is such a different system than this Oriental practice that there is no direct link to make. But the system of 21 of the Mahakaruna in its passive and active aspects mean that it's a system of 21 in the world of duality, in the manifest world. So you can take 21 Hebrew letters, remove Aleph, because Aleph is not in the manifest world. Duality starts with the second letter. So from Bet to Tav, we can make association to the mudras. This is not a class of Kabbalah, so I will not speak much or rarely about it, but it fits. The first 2 mudras that you've learned, the Vajrabhadra and the Jalarora, okay, fit with the general concept of the Hebrew letter Bet, the container. Okay. The first one is liberation from acquisition or greed. And the other one is to let go of, to allow the flow to happen unaffected or while being immobile. The letter Bet in the Hebrew Aleph Bet is considered as the first container. So here a relationship to acquisition, but also the letter from which everything flows out from vacuity into creation. So the relationship to the flow. Okay? I would not explain anything like this about Kabbalah if I did not intend to inspire you the next class with Gimel. Okay? So the next 2 mudras will have a link to Gimel. Okay. Gimel in the Tree of Life goes from Keter to Tiferet. So it's the letter of going from your mind to your guts. And that is what the mudra is about. In the original document, the old Chinese document, they say this mudra is to treat any sickness you have in the stomach or the abdomen. It's a misunderstanding. That's how they wrote it. It is the mudra of going into your abdomen. That is more accurate. Okay? So as you have the pearl mudra of the first step, where you're holding something like the letter bet. Okay, letter bet. And then you open up, which pulls in. You're receiving from above what flows down into the bowl or the cauldron, if you want, in your abdomen. So the fact that it becomes from a pearl that is contained to a bowl that is receiving, the link to Gimel, that is to go from higher consciousness to the guts, and the mantra, Om Jala Jala Vajra Hom Pad. The Om, or we invoke it from the universe. The final Hom Pad, feel it with certainty, and it is as the wisdom, the feeling is transmitted. So, Jala Jala Vajra, these are words we have covered so far. Jala is the flow, or water. Jala Jala is a lot of flow, or circulation. To double a word in Sanskrit means to have it a lot, or to go to the next stage of the meaning of the word. In this case, a waterfall. We're invoking the flow from above into us. This mudra will have you go from your mind to your guts. It will have you focus on receiving. In Gimel would be receiving the golden light, but in this case it's not Gimel, it's Jala Jala Vajra. Receive the Vajra. Now, what does that even mean? Vajra is not a substance. In the dictionary, the Vajra is a diamond and a lightning. The diamond is the most permanent thing, and the lightning is the most impermanent thing. So the Vajra is the concept of paradoxes. Thank you guys who took the time to write it. Oh, I forgot to update the PDF. There will be a PDF updated, just with fancy logos of the Majriya and stuff, but it's almost the same document. The Vajra is often translated in spiritual term as ineffable truth. So the truth that is the hardest to grasp. paradoxes, pure states of being. To exist and to be freed of the concept of existence. To be, but to be free from the idea of being. So, true self, hard to translate until you live the experience. My father, my biological father, had a very nice way to explain what he felt during enlightenment. He said, enlightenment is a terrible sense of peace. It was such a nice way to say it. A terrible sense of peace is an accurate way to describe the feeling of home path. So intense, so relaxed. It is a feeling that subjugates you, but does not trouble you. That's the home path, the terrible feeling of peace. I love this expression. It was wonderful. Let's retake all of this from the beginning. Easy. From the pearl, we move on to the bowl. Mudra. The state is to be receptive. Jala jala, the intensity of the flow that is coming down. Incarnate in your guts. Vajra. So what will flow is not a substance, but a state of being, a state of consciousness, the Vajra state of consciousness. What you are receiving with Jala Jala Vajra is liberation of illusion. Like Sakyamuni explained the Vajra as a diamond that cuts through illusion, even the illusion that the diamond actually exists. Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum. Feel in your abdomen. It's a feeling in the abdomen of the liberation of all illusion. And the Jala Jala allows it to go deeper inside you. Now, next step of the teaching. When we learn the idea of cutting through illusion, we're usually very mental about it, intellectual. We see an illusion as something of the mind, the lies we tell ourselves, the beliefs that close our perception, the denials that refuses to embrace more of reality, of what is actually real. There is a reality. Not everything is an illusion. There is a reality. Illusion is what prevents us from embracing reality, which is quite simple. The manifest world, as it is a reality. It's very simple. Illusion is what blinds us to what is actually manifest and what is actually there. simplicity of just being here and experiencing life. Okay. When we learn about the concept of cutting through illusion, the first denial is to think the illusion is only in the mind, and that the cutting through illusion will be an event in your mind. And that is the mistake. Your illusions are actually kept in place by your nightmares. And you would think a nightmare is something happening in your mind. But the most obvious fact of a nightmare is what you feel. When you have a nightmare, it is your emotional reality that is in charge. Illusions are actually kept in place by your feelings, your potentials that are inside you. And the cutting through the illusion is not something that you do in your head. Oh, I only have to think correctly to be free of illusion. Never works. It never works. The idea of thinking correctly is an illusion of perfectionism, held in place by your insecurities, which are feelings. Okay? So anyone who thinks, I just have to think correctly, it's not gonna work. The dream of thinking correctly comes from the fear of not being good enough, or something similar. Illusions are born of your potentials inside, your feelings, mostly in your guts. Your potentials can be anywhere. You'll have potentials in the mind, in the face, torso. The major potentials are in the guts. Okay? Where you feel most of your emotions, between the heart and the navel. The mudra of going from pearl to bowl, the jala jala, the waterfall of that concept, the vajra of cutting through illusion, liberation of the source of illusion, and the home path to embrace the feeling. The third step of the Mahakaruna, Om Jala Jala Vajra Home Path. It is the Mahakaruna system. It is the step of teaching you Visantara, the deep embrace inside. To go in the intense waterfall inside you and embrace any potential that gives birth to illusion. And to cut through those potentials is to open them up. The home path is to embrace any intensity inside you. So we will do the practice of Visantara now, using that mudra and that mantra. With the bowl mudra, going into your abdomen. A side effect this week of this is any force that you have inside, any potential that wants to keep you in your head out of control, they will also rise. Your denials that want to keep you in your mind and avoid your emotional reality, they might fight. I had headaches this week since I started this mantra. An old wound in my back of a muscle that tear a few years ago. It troubled me. I had trouble sleeping. Yeah, it's normal because I was honestly practicing the mudra. And so often I came back to my head instead of just sinking in my guts and resolving the issue I had. It corresponded with a personal issue in reality. Yesterday my car would not start. Stuff like that, you know. So expect side effects, a little battle. But if you go in your guts, you will resolve it. If you stay in your head, charging the practice will work. It might be harder. Be wary of the side effects of being stuck in your head. It is in the guts that you embrace your emotions, okay? As you charge this stage of the practice, it will be so much easier after to integrate, to embrace the feelings, and to recognize when your mind is in control, okay? It's very good. Om Jala Jala Vajrahum Pat. The fears you have to feel. Let's rephrase that. When you are afraid of feeling, that fear you have of facing yourself in the deep part of you, just sink there. The fear you have of going through nightmares in the night, but also in life. The fear you have of going through troubling time. Embrace what you feel deeply inside you in the turbulence. Embrace the deep potentials that awaken. Embrace the battles that would rather not feel anything. Face your denials. Face the fear of existing. The fear of facing everything in life. Embrace it. Om Jala Jala Vajrahum Pat. The mantra will not cut through the fear so you don't have to feel it. Don't use the practice as a denial. The mantra will cut through illusion and liberate that fear so you can feel it. It cuts through the bubble of the potentials. It cuts the potentials of denial, opening them up and liberating these awful flavors deep inside you. Om Jala Jala Vajrahum Pat. Sinking deep inside. Vajrahum Pat is to dedicate yourself to embrace what you are. If you have successfully gone through the liberation of your fears, that's good. It's not a binary process that you have done or not. You have proceeded far. There might be more. It's a graduate process. But I understand, Mr. Pearl, Zizi Pearl, I always forget your name. Vince, is it? To say I'm not scared anymore is a very good thing. That's a very good success of liberation of lots of fear. There might be more, deeper. It's progressive and not like something you have done and you're over. But it's a very good sign of liberating enough for you. It means also to be clean, and I imagine it also means about the intake of drugs or the way that you live your life, which is good. Very beautiful declaration of success. Always be available to what is more, because after the liberation of fears will be the various shames, the shame of what you are, and after that will be the pride of wanting to be good or wanting to be seen by others. So it's a progressive step, but the first is the fear. Om Jala Jala Vajrahum Pat. Get to this point of embracing all that you are. Get to this point that you can say, I'm not afraid anymore. That would be a wonderful, wonderful success. And then just be available to what is there, what is left. Because I'm like that. I'm like Vince, who says, I'm not afraid anymore. I am like that. I've reached this point of saying, I'm not afraid anymore. But potentials of fear naturally still rise. I'm just simply not a slave of them anymore. But these deep potentials, they can still exist. Notice during the practice that something around your crown, actually the corona, okay, like a strap, a bandera around your head, would prefer keeping you up in your brain. Could be. Let it go, and it's okay. It's also your crown chakra opening, so it's good. The Jala Jala causes the crown to open. The Kabbalistic Gimel goes from the crown to the plexus or the guts. So it's normal that your crown chakra does the positive aspect of opening, but the resistance of your ego to the opening of the crown will want to keep you in your head. Don't freak out with these symptoms. Be flexible, just keep embracing. Om Jala Jala Vajrahum Pat. It is deep in your abdomen that the fear, the shame, and the pride wants to deny what you're really feeling in your life, your emotional state. And there are nightmares in there. During the practice, you will not be necessarily invaded by the turbulence or by these potentials. The practice causes you to have the cultivation of Visantara always on, like in daily life. Keep you always deep in your core. The mantra the Mudra and the Dharma of this practice invokes the cutting through the illusion, the embracing deep inside of the removal of illusion. In this way, more of your potentials will awaken so that you can observe yourself truly. The side effect of this practice is that by bringing this consciousness in your abdomen and by making yourself available to what you experience deep inside, it will repair the physical organs in your abdomen. Therefore, this practice was used to heal the guts. The practitioners who were not educated in higher spiritual concepts, they went through terrible nightmares and manifest a few life problems while the guts was healing. Because that practice simply puts you face to what you have deep inside in your Visantara, in your profound turbulence. It's cool, huh? Good. I will probably not make more reference to Kabbalah, or very rarely. The two systems are very far. It would take too much effort to show each link. And it doesn't matter. I think the Kabbalists can play the game of saying that for themselves. But then be careful not to invent correspondences that are not actually there just because you're trying to see them, okay? Let's do the 21 levels, passive then active, of the Mahakaruna. Okay? Let's just focus on this esoteric practice. Now is the time we take our mala and we do a mala together. You don't have to go from pearl to bowl often. We did it so you could see the difference between containing and receiving, like the holding of something and then the receiving of a substance as a bowl, okay? That's just the difference, but start the practice with the actual bowl. It does what it does. If you don't have a mala, it doesn't matter. You recite the mantras as often as we do, and it's okay. And then that's the practice you do every day. Just one mala of the practice, then meditation on the mantra. Okay? Om Jala Jala Vajra Hom Pat. 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 Jala Jala Vajra Om Pat. Om Jala Jala Vajra Hom Pat. Om Jala Jala Vajra Om Pat. Jala Jala Vajra Om Pat. Om Jala Jala Vajra Om Pat. Om Jala Jala Vajra Om Pat. Vajra Om Pat. Om Jala Jala 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 Vajra Om Pat. Vajra Hum Pat, Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat, Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat, Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat. Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat, Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat, Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat, Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat. Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat, Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat, Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat, Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat. Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat, 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 Vajra Hum Pat, Om Jala Jala 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 Vajra Hum Pat, Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat, Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat, Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat, Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat, Pat, Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum 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 Pat, Om Jala Vajra Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat, 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 Vajra Hum Pat, Om Jala Jala 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 Vajra Hum Pat, Pat, Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat, Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat, Om Jala Jala Vajra Hum Pat, Om. Do the extra mantra if you have the extra bead. I've explained in the past. Some malas have 109. It's okay. It's called the Guru bead. Very nice. Every day when you start your practice, it's good to do 2 stage before. If you are good with memory, you can do more. My preferred way is to do the 2 last stage when you start. In this case, it's the first 3 we've learned. Om Vajrabhadra Hum Pat, Om Vajrabhadra Hum Pat, Om Vajrabhadra Hum Pat, Om Jalarora Manaira Hum Pat, Om Jalarora Manaira Hum Pat, Om Jalarora Manaira Hum Pat, Om Jala Jala Vajra 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 Hum Pat. You take your mala, you do it, you contemplate the philosophy, and you end with a simple meditation where you end up not doing the mantra, you just relax in the concept. Alright. That's how you do the practice every day. 2 steps before. Don't hesitate to take your book as a reference or the PDF that is available if the link is not in the first post that is pinned, it's further, like it says PDF of the 2020 class. 2021. Are we? What year is this? Yeah, 2021. And my memory isn't what it used to be. I don't remember most of these mantras. So I accept my limitation and my skills, and I read the document. And from there, I proceed. So it's okay, it's acceptable to, when you don't know a process by heart, it doesn't mean that you're not a master. It means you have not practiced for so long. I don't remember the prayer of the Dandapati. It's been more than a decade since I practiced consistently. So, yeah, I forgot it. The Maharya prayers, yeah, I do them quite often. So it's different. It was a nice class. Thank you, guys. Have a nice practice. If you find it hard to integrate what is finding it hard. Check your wall.